We've got a couple really major lunations this month, and the month of May is almost going to feel like a palate cleanser in a way from this year. You're going to feel like you can take a breath, and you're going to have to take a really deep breath with this full moon in a couple days. I'll explain why. But it may feel like you're getting a palate cleanser in. We've also got a new moon in Gemini at the end of the month, which is May 26th, 27th. And that one's going to feel really beautiful and clean and perfect for new beginnings, right? But I wanted to do the video on the Scorpio full moon because it's going to be a lot and I wanted to get you ahead of it. I myself am getting ahead of it along with my mom, who's behind me listening to everything. Hi, Melody. But we're getting ahead of it by, we chose to be at a spa Mother's Day weekend in Arizona. But a part of the reason in choosing this spa was also it was beautiful, but they have a lot of spiritual work classes that help you kind of recenter and reground yourself in your own energy so you can move forward. And I learned something in a class yesterday with numerology that is going to help you as an exercise with the full moon coming up in Scorpio. So let me jump in. So we all know that, Scorpio is an energy of death and transformation. It's almost like if you have a toothache, it's not like, filling it, it's actually uprooting the tooth. It's that kind of energy. This moon cycle is asking you to specifically look at your soul contract and why you're here. Now, there's another kind of spicy energy that's introduced into it as well, and that is the Sun conjunct Uranus. There's a conjunction right now happening, and that is going to toss chaos into this. Now, what is that going to look like? It's going to look like basically that you're going to get really unexpected news, whether it's on the global platform or your personal life or both, but it's going to be news that you never thought you'd hear. It's going to be something that kind of throws you off a little bit. Don't let it throw you off too much that you're not doing the inner work though, because it's really important. It's almost like this full moon is full of spiritual work and soul surgery specifically, so that you could have an enjoyable moon by the time that it's new and full of new beginnings in Gemini at the end of the month. So let's dive in. Yesterday I was in a class and it was around numerology, and I've done my numerology before. It's about adding up, your birth date and then figuring out your life path. I happen to be a life path 8 and I'm an Enneagram 8 as well. 8 comes up a lot in my life, but I'm telling you this because I want you to do a numerology exercise for the Scorpio new moon or full moon. And here's why. The Scorpio full moon is, this is a big year of shifts and changes, and a lot of the planetary alignments are forcing you to look at why you're here. There is a culmination happening on Monday, May 12th, which is when the full moon is, where you're being asked to look at your soul contract and why you're here. When we enter in as the person who we are in this current iteration of our soul, we have many souls, by the way, we sign a contract, and we sign a contract to the experience and the life lesson that we're meant to learn. This full moon is asking you to specifically look at your soul contract, why you're here, and what lesson that you're meant to learn. And there's a couple ways that you're going to do it, because you're meant to look at, one, you're going to do a journal prompt around writing down, and you're going to have to do this. What is your ugliest secret that you have? It's like the thing that you don't want to tell anyone, the thing that you keep inside. This is designed to let you shed your ego around this contract, because what you're going to realize is when you write down your secret, it is going to make you realize how the secret has controlled you and controlled your behaviors throughout the rest of your life. And it's something only meant for your eyes to see. You can burn it after it happens. It's totally fine. But in looking at your soul contract, your secret is going to tell you a little bit of why you're here. So that is the first thing. And it's very, very deep shadow work, but it is the Scorpio full moon, and you're meant to do it during that time. I'm going to look at my notes because I was taking notes around this as well. In this soul surgery and while you're looking at this contract and why you're here, you're going to be removing everything. There is no polite healing around this. You're going to be uprooting and pulling out what's under your skin. And what is this meant to do? It's meant to get you back on track to where your life is, to move you forward in your purpose, and to help you ground yourself in the energy of Scorpio, because that Scorpio and Uranus is going to shake things up. And I wouldn't even be surprised if that unexpected news is going to have something to do with that deep, dark secret that you have. And not every secret is, going to be full on naughty, right? But it's going to be around how you've, That secret's going to be around how you've allowed it to control you and your ego through life. And so by writing it down and even burning it, and I would say this, if you don't burn it and if you keep it around as a reminder, even put it on your altar in a safe space that's secret, is going to empower you to never let that secret drive your life again. That is your first homework behind the Scorpio full moon. So here's the other one. I want you to do, if you're struggling to figure out what is your life purpose, what is your soul contract, and why are you here, I want you to write down your numerology and do some math. So what you're going to do is write down all the numbers from your birth date, and then you're going to add them together until they equal one singular digit. So for example, I am February 23rd, 1981. What I'm going to do is I add 2 for February, 2, 3, so 2 plus 2 plus 3 for my birth date. And then 1981, I'm going to add all those in. All of those equal 26, and then you add 2 plus 6 in the 26, and then it equals 8. Okay, now just giving you my example, I am a life path 8 and Enneagram 8 as well, which is kind of odd. And I took notes in the class that I was learning yesterday around my numerology. But the one thing in life path 8s is I'm a master manifester. I can manifest anything. A lot of 8s are very powerful, successful people. But here's the one thing that really stuck with me when I did the research. And of course, when you do the numerology, look everything up to make sure that you're getting it right. But the lesson that I am learning in this life is I'm here to learn balance and how to be a part of this world, even if I don't feel like I'm a part of it. And this is a little secret that I don't usually tell people. And this is one of the secrets that hold me back. And it has held me back in the past, but it's also, I've learned how to use it to empower me as well. Is I don't feel like I'm a part of any ecosystem that I exist in. Whether it was me being a kid in Catholic school, or me being a college student in the South, which was really jarring, or me being a female producer, let me just say that, in Los Angeles or New York. I have always felt collectively, even in my friend group, that I am an outsider and an outlier. But what that does is, it is lonely and it is very isolating, but at the same time, I'm able to look from an outside perspective and see what it is that people need, right? And that's where my superpower lies. But I can't, if I'm feeling isolated and alone, that's where I allow that life path, that purpose to get in the way of why I'm here, instead of using it as a place of empowerment. Now, what I do is I use that knowledge and I use it as a platform to help people. That's what makes me a leader. That's what makes me a manifester, is I can see what everyone needs and I jump in and I lead. And that's always been me using my purpose and as a tool, But I will say this, around this Scorpio new moon, or full moon, specifically, I want you to do the secret exercise, and I want you to do your numerology and get to the root of why you're here. Now, you may come up with a bunch of different numbers, just look up what the numbers mean, but get to the life purpose and see how that ties in with your secret. And then my goal for this exercise, these 2 exercises, is for you to understand why you're here, do the soul surgery that it's going to take to move you forward, and then get you back on your path. I'm going to do a quick reading. I have the Tarot Chimera. This is the book. I had gotten this when I was in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, but it's a beautiful, beautiful deck. Really creepy imagery, but I'm absolutely obsessed with it. I was already shuffling earlier, so I pulled the first card, but the card energy is Chimera. So this is a tarot and an oracle deck combined, but Chimera is your current energy. The Scorpio full moon is asking you to shapeshift. That's what chimeras do, is they are shapeshifters. They are changers, but they shapeshift in a time of radical transformation and chaos. And so they use that chaos to their advantage to alchemize that shift and that transformation. Like I said, this Scorpio full moon is not about polite healing. It's about it's about uprooting the tooth instead of putting a cap on it. You are uprooting the entire thing. And what you're doing, excuse me, is you're pulling out the stuff that's festering under the skin. That's what the secret is, and that's what that's all about. Now your challenge, just pull a card for this. What your challenge is going to be is, this is interesting, 2 of Cups. I think a lot of people don't want to look at their ugly stuff and they get kind of freaked out by it. And so 2 of Cups is a codependency. What are some codependent tendencies that you have that are holding you back from looking at your wound? And what that is doing is holding you back from also looking at your purpose and why you're here, right? And let's pull the outcome. This is like a massive deck for my hands, but I love it. Oop. All right, where'd you go? Ooh, Knight of Cups. I like this. So Knight of Cups energy is your outcome, okay? So if you are going to be going into this Scorpio full moon energy, you're expected to shapeshift in order to heal. Look out for codependent tendencies and ways that you may cover up your wound out of politeness. This is not polite healing, but you're going to come out of it with the information that you need. Knight of Cups is a movement forward in emotion, but it's moving forward in your authenticity, and it's the first step towards that. The Scorpio full moon energy is all about you finding your authenticity and the purpose and why you're here and getting honest about your wounds and how they are holding you back. And that is the entire reading. But again, this is the dark work, that the shadow work that has to happen first in order for you to get to that new moon later on in the month. That is going to be a truly beautiful, like baptismal kind of like, just new beginning. It's going to feel glorious and gorgeous as long as you do the work. So this Monday, get to it. I gave you these 2 exercises. Google numerology and see what you think about it. And how it helps. It's going to help you a lot in getting centered in like where you're at, what your purpose is. But what the intention of this full moon is you need to get to the life lesson that you're supposed to learn. And then also the secret that may be holding you back wrapped in that life lesson to get you closer to your purpose and why you're here. So good luck.